Hi, Giant Builders. Well, our next guest has the slogan of Carpe Diem, seize the day. And she has a lot of great tips on how to do that. So let's check it out.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is the Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Hey, Giant Builders. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. We have an extra special guest. I'll have to tell you that we are doing a second recording for Beth because my first recording froze on me and it was not a pretty look. So, Beth, I really appreciate you coming back. And could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm honored to be back. I love a take two. I am Beth Robbins. An author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a life coach. I am the creator and the heart behind the movement Carpe Diem Seize the Day with a Smile. And I'm an avid pickleball player.
So do you
That's
know, so do you know why they call it pickleball?
Well, there's a lot of controversy
Oh,
that's named
okay.
after the dog Pickles, but it's a hybrid of badminton, tennis, and ping pong.
Yeah, I had heard the story about the dog named Pickle, so I was wondering
Yeah.
if that was the true story.
It's never been proven, but I did just
Yeah.
meet somebody who used to mow their lawn when he was in high school.
Oh,
So, but he didn't know either. He's like,
oh.
I was a tennis player. I didn't play pickleball. So,
Yeah, but did they
whatever.
have a dog?
Right. I know. I'm sure he would know that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your Carpe Diem process.
So Carpe Diem is seize the day. And I've come to hone it down into understanding that it's a decision that you get to make every day, how you're going to proceed. You wake up, that's something to be grateful for. And then how are you going to lean in? You could look at your calendar and think, oh, it's going to be a rough day, or I've got some challenges, or it's a tight schedule, or whatever. Or you can just lean into it with a smile because it disarms you and your attitude, and it really impacts everybody that you're going to run into throughout the day, and it really elevates your vibration, your frequency. And when you can start with that, I'm just going to smile and take it in because it's just not that serious, like it's life. And no matter what happens, the sun's going to set later and it's going to come up tomorrow. And so I can lean into that. And it's, I'm an avid to-do lister because I love to cross it off. And I think it's like, make a to-be list. Who do I need to be today? Who do I get to be today? Like, do I get to be somebody who's a great listener, somebody who can be empathetic, somebody who's going to call those friends I've been thinking about, or I get to be an organized person. I get to be somebody who gets stuff done. Whatever that is, it just lightens the load. And I wrote a children's series of books. It's kind of Carpe Diem seize the day, but seize the day with a smile, seize the day with courage, seize the day with leadership, with kindness. Those are all things that you can seize the day with and incorporate into your life. And the whole point of it is to remind you, you get to make that decision. You get to choose how you're going to greet the day. And that's just something like I learned about Carpe Diem in Latin school when I was 15, and I realized it's my signature since high school, like when you're signing everybody's yearbooks, I was Carpe Diem. And it was because I thought it was cool. And it was like, yeah, that's kind of me. And I always thought it was like, I'm gonna do some really bold things. I'm gonna, create a life. I'm gonna do some stuff, and I'm gonna lean into fear, and I'm gonna do all, and that's great. That's Carpe Diem. But now there's a softer side. And it doesn't have to be every day doing something big and bold and something that makes you scared or sweaty or whatever every day. It's just that choice and realizing that you get to make it every day. You can choose, you know what? I'm going to go back to bed because I'm just not in the flow state. I got to go take a nap and wake up and start over. That's it. It's a choice.
So do you think it's better to set that choice or that mark at night before I go to bed or in the morning?
I think at night before you go to bed is when you set the intention for the next day, you start with gratitude. You start with pride. You pat yourself on the back for things you did that day. Like, oh man, I actually remembered to get the groceries, and this is huge. I got them out of the car and put them away. Because raise your hand if you've ever gotten groceries. It's like, okay, I checked that off the list. And then it's 3 hours later going, I have a tub of ice cream melting in the back of my car. I used to live in a place where you could, if you were juggling like kids and grocery carts, you would get a number and then you would go get your car, pull it around, and then they would come out and then put the groceries in the back of your car. And we used to laugh how many of us busy moms would be like, okay, I got the groceries, and then you take off to the dry cleaners or wherever, and this poor guy standing there with the groceries. So pride, I did some stuff today. Gratitude for the things that are great, and set the intention for if there's something that a challenge you're working through, so that while you're dreaming, the universe gets real busy lining things up for you. You wake up in the morning and you make that choice. I'm seizing today based on gratitude and the intentions I set last night. So, a long-winded answer to your question,
Wow.
yes and yes.
Yeah, so a little truth time here. So one year I did buy my son an ice cream birthday cake and left
Uh-oh.
it in the car overnight, and the next morning thought, oh, what did I put? Did I get that cake in the freezer? Oh, no.
Yeah, but we all do it, and it's just that, we are multitaskers for sure, but we don't ever get them all the things done all the way as we would like sometimes. But hey, we're human and that's okay.
Yeah. So I'm curious, if you get something done that's not on your to-do list, do you write it on your to-do list so you can check it off?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
I just did it because I remembered a form I had to fill out and I'm just gonna write that on there. Yeah, I will show you. I have sheets of paper all over here, and they're all like, I get such a joy, and that's part of my pride. And so many times, especially as women, we don't celebrate the little things, the little wins, because we feel like it's braggadocious or it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, what am I celebrating? But we just tell our nervous system like, you did some stuff and we be proud of that, even though it's maybe seem inconsequential or little things add up to big things, and they're all part of who you are and how you're appearing in the world every day. So celebrate the good stuff you did, even if it was, I remember to call a friend, or I spent a couple extra minutes at having coffee with somebody, or I opened the door for somebody, whatever, just celebrate that.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things to do is to like walk through the grocery store and compliment people. Like, oh, that's a beautiful dress. Oh, I love your hair. It makes me feel like I'm bringing light or joy into somebody else's day.
Well, I'm curious, what's the reaction?
Most of the time, they're very surprised that somebody even said anything to them, but they're always very, oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think that's another thing that we, especially as women, have a hard time accepting compliments. And especially when it comes out of the blue, we're at the grocery store, and we're maybe not feeling all that. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful gift that you give to people.
oh, thanks. No, it's just kind of fun for me. I like almost like a little game. Like, okay, who can I make smile this trip?
I love that. I love that. Well, that's seizing the day with a smile.
Yeah, there you
You got
go.
it. You nailed it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's so great. That is terrific. I love that. And that you make it a game, like, so I'm competitive with myself, right? So I go, okay, by the end of the day, I'm gonna make 10 people either laugh or smile or
Uh-huh.
something, So I mean, and then it's like, okay, I got three. It's like,
Three more
how
notches.
yeah, we got to get our 10,000 steps in a day. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta make 10 people smile. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great goal.
Yeah, it is.
Good
So
for you.
expand on the children's books for me.
So I wrote these. So I wrote another book called Make Your Life a Beautiful Story, Life Lessons I Learned from My Mother. And from that, I thought, okay, I wrote my book. I got it out of me. And then my publisher was like, no, 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 there's more. You are the Carpe Diem lady. And I have my one and only tattoo,
Oh.
Carpe Diem, that just felt, and this is long before I knew this was what I was going to do. So I've been working on this book for grown-ups on Carpe Diem Seize the Day with a Smile. And he said, I feel like you've got children's books in you. I'm like, dude, how much time do you think I have? And he goes, just give it a whirl. And by the way, there's a children's authors conference coming up in 10 weeks. Maybe you could have a couple of them done. I mean, oh, a couple, wait, how many am I writing? He goes, I feel like it should be a series of 5 to 10. I was like, okay, I'm going to lean into this. I am telling you, I wrote these books poured out of me. And it was just this feeling like this wonky age of fourth, fifth grade up to ninth grade, where you're just trying to figure out who you are,
Mhm.
your place in the world, and your world's getting kind of complex. There's the mean girls and the bullying and the my body feels weird because it's changing and school's getting harder and you're trying to figure out who do I fit in with? Like who are my
Mhm.
people? And then all of that's going on and they just don't teach this in school. And so that was my through line of like I want to tackle those subjects. So all my characters are 13 and they're going through 13-year-old stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so each book has the theme of seize the day with, so courage or kindness or whatever. And then it's a fictional narrative about something that's going on in their day and the different characters that they interact with and how they embrace what Carpe Diem seize the day with kindness is. And I give a little thing in the front, like what Carpe Diem means.
Mhm.
And then towards the second part of the story, you will meet the character for the next book and
Oh.
they have an interaction and something happens which spurs the impetus for the next book. And then at the end of each book there's a vocabulary list and then there's I am statements to try on. And that came up where I was at an event where I heard a 13-year-old boy who's super cool, super like I'm Mr. Football and I'm a model and I'm doing all this, who had a near-death experience. And he, they were piping in IMs using AI and his voice while he was in a coma for 4 months. And he doesn't have any memory of it, but he had the list written down and he read them out loud in front of a whole room of grown-ups. And I was like brought to tears. And I met him afterward. I said, do you still do that? And he goes, in my bathroom. Yeah. So like you don't tell your buddies. He goes,
Yeah.
no, he goes, we just don't even, talk about stuff like that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I'm putting these in my book because if you're the kid reading it, you're in your room and you could get a little inspiration to see, wow, that really feels good. I wake up in the morning and I know I got a math test and soccer tryouts and I'm kind of mad at mom. And then you're like, I can get in the bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm combing my hair, I can say these I am things and I'm gonna feel better. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna tell anybody, but I do feel better. And if I could do that and just get this group of kids, as many as I can get my hands on, to embrace this now, um, I just think that junior high and high school will be a little less bumpy.
Yeah.
And I think in creating passionate, resilient adults down the road, that's really so. Somebody suggested it. My publisher said you should do it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then it turned into a movement.
That is awesome. I really like that a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm super excited about it, as you can tell. But it's
Yeah.
to be, I tell people when I woke up on New Year's Day of 2025, nowhere in my sphere was being an author. I mean, I'd already written the one book, but that was just because I needed to write it. But and then a children's author, and now I have 7 books. It's just like, what happened? So embracing it because it's, and I think if I could tell people with your own carpe diem or seize the day or you're in this place where I feel like there's something more I should be doing or I kind of want to do something, but I don't even know how to start or whatever. Oh my gosh, don't wait for someday. Do it. Seize the day and just do it. I
So
really couldn't say that enough.
which children's book is the first one?
Carpe diem, or no, there's no carpe diem. It's seize the day with a smile.
Smile. Okay.
Yeah, and all my books are on Amazon. So I haven't really announced it yet until the five are out because there's some distributors that want to package them into like one
Oh,
thing, one sleeve. But
yeah.
you can certainly buy them one at a time and see how you like them. And I think I know they're on Kindle too. So
Oh, okay. All
they're
right.
easy to get on
Yeah.
Amazon.
All right.
Amazon's been very good to me and they're kind and yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll have that link in our media. So on our media
awesome.
page, make sure you look Giant Builders. Sounds like great Christmas presents.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll be doing a launch in November that's official for
Uh-huh.
it. I am going to be holding some pickleball events where I'm raising money to get all these books into the Boys and Girls Clubs all
Oh,
around. I'm in Southern California.
uh-huh.
So I do have somebody who I met through an event, and she read them aloud to 13 to 17-year-olds at her Boys and Girls Club where she volunteers. And they ended up doing a whole homework assignment about it. So
Oh,
it was a little older demographic than I was thought I would appeal to, but she said no, they really understood it, got it, and enjoyed it. So
that's
it,
wonderful.
it sparked my imagination to get these in
Yeah.
all those clubs for sure.
Oh, yeah. So is there still, you're going to still add more to the series?
Well, I'm getting the five out, and I think
Uh-huh.
2026, I'm going to tackle some more heavier issues with this
Wow.
age group. There's the body dysmorphia kind of things, and the teenage maybe drinking or drugs, the kids going in more nefarious directions.
Mm,
I've hit bullying, but it's been a soft blow, so
okay.
it's not like really heavy at all because I want them to be entertaining but yet educational,
Yeah.
where kids could see themselves or know people like that. The characters are diverse. I have one little girl, she grew up traveling around Africa with her family, who were
Yeah.
diplomats, with her parents, and is starting her very first day of junior high at 13 in an American school. And so her whole thing is she was raised a little bit differently and exposed to different things. So when she comes into the kind of a mean girl crowd,
Yeah.
it's almost like they were almost comical. Like, what? So she meets a friend who's struggling to make a decision to do something really bold because she's afraid of what this clique is going to say. And
Hmm.
she's like, "What do you care about them? Go do it." And so she does it. So then the next book is about her doing it. So and this little girl traveling around Africa is my granddaughter because that's going to
Oh,
be her life. I mean, she's only two now, but her parents are diplomats, and that will be her life. And the plan is for her to start in an American school at 13. So that was something I got to put a little bit of me in.
oh, that is cool. Yeah, so probably are you going to tackle online, being teenagers online?
Online, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
funny. I went on TikTok and I just put a little thing out. This is before I wrote one single word. And I said, this is something that's been presented to me as a possibility. What if you were going to read a book or write this book? What are some things that happened to you or didn't happen to you, or things you wished you would have done, or things you regret about your junior high years? And within an hour, I had over 750 comments. And it just blew my
Oh,
mind.
yeah.
Things that people were like, oh, if I only knew about that
Mm.
or this, or it was like, what? I grew up in Central Illinois, this little sheltered bubble. I was like, oh my gosh, that was going on. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I'm open to suggestions. I want to keep it light, but I do want to touch those things that I think are weighing heavy on these young kids' minds for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, what a blessing you're bringing to the world. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
calling.
yeah, it would, yeah. So, well, any closing thoughts?
I think my closing thoughts are what I said before, that if you're having a calling or a chirp, Don't wait until crisis turns your life upside down,
Mm.
or wait to lose the weight, or wait for retirement, or wait till a divorce, or the kids leave the nest, or something that just shakes your world up. If you're having a calling, if you're having this feeling there's more for you to do, jump in,
Mhm.
jump in, step in, because there's so many times I hear people say, well, when this happens, or someday I'll, or one day I'll, or and it's like, wow, we what are we waiting for? When we were kids, we waited to be 16 so we could drive, and
Yeah.
18 so we could vote, and 21 so we could have our first drink. You're right. And there's all these little milestones. Well, when I get to this, or when I get to that, then I'll. So we get in that habit, and then all of a sudden we're in our 40s and our 50s, and we're like, oh, wait, life is starting to go fast.
Mhm.
I never did that thing, but I'll wait. I'll wait till I have more time, or I'll wait until, I'm taking care of my parents, or whatever. There's always an excuse, or a because. I can't because.
Mhm.
And we live in situations and conditions and circumstances, and we look to that for permission slips to go ahead and do the do. And
Mhm.
don't wait for that. Do what you can from where you are with what you have and start today.
Oh, that's a great closing. Thank you so much, Beth, for sharing with us. I'm going to go look at your books and get some ordered for my grandchildren for Christmas.
Oh,
So,
thank you. That's so sweet.
yes, well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, Giant Builders, see you next week.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.